Happy Thursday, and welcome to the show with Jenny Adams and me, Jen Snow. It's Thursday. Oh my God, I'm losing days. This week has gone by so slow.
Yes.
I keep thinking it's Saturday, and I'm like, no. Like Wednesday, I think I woke up this morning and I was like, what day is it? Did I miss something? And no. Look at the phone.
It does feel like a weird Thursday, right?
It is. It's like time is slowed. I had this there. I've connected with this wild horse herd up in Lumbee, BC, and they had this really cool animal communicator come in and do some work with the herd, and they did some big shifts. And funny enough, the day that I didn't know this was going on, I had no idea. I was thinking about the herd that day, and all of a sudden I got this real dizzy spell, like when you almost fall over. And since that moment, because the caretaker of the herd sent me a message, said, hey, if you get dizzy, that's because of what's going on with the herd right now. So I'm like, dude, I almost biffed. Like I almost, like if I hadn't been like by a wall, I was going down. Like I straight up was on my way out. And because I used to get dizzy spells when my neuropathy would get really bad. And so I know the feeling. And she's like, yeah, there was a big shift. And I was told I needed to tell you because apparently it's going to affect you. And since that moment, this week is just like the time has ceased to exist, which I don't know about you, but I find that kind of fun in so many different ways. I know if it's a long work week, it's not fun. But if it's not a long work week, it's like, oh, nice.
I agree. And that's funny you say that because a while ago I was also feeling super dizzy. And then I kept getting really weird, crazy deja vu. Hold on, my dog's Tucker saying hi.
Tucker is a part of the show. You know what? If I hadn't shut the doors, Kona would be in here and she'd probably be like trying to respond.
Who are we barking at? Are we barking at someone? Oh, here, he's probably coming over here.
Welcome
to
the show.
I had super deja vu and dizzy. And then I had this like weird thing like that I was in a different timeline, but in a or the same timeline, but in a different body, like in the different, I don't know. It was really weird. Like I was like, oh my gosh, I'm having super deja vu right now. And then, but I felt like I'd already lived this timeline, but in a higher version of myself I was in now. It was crazy.
You know what's funny is I have had so many of those moments actually where that reminds me, my first freaking experience with astral travel was with a healer from Maui, and she's a friend's mom, and she was just getting into it. And I remember going into a different timeline, and I was a male, but it was like now, like it was like a piece of my soul was connected to this person's life. And we had to, it was quite weird. And it was it was a lot of healing. There's a lot of like deep emotions. So I got to feel all of that, which was really cool. But it was very different because I always expected to go back in time. I always expected to travel backwards or go forwards. But there I was in the multiverse of and I swear to God, the person was from Seattle.
Oh my gosh.
And living on the coast, that's not that far away. It's only a couple hours, right? So that's kind of neat. So when you were in this version of yourself in the timeline, what did it feel like?
It felt like I didn't want to go back. So it's kind of like almost what you just were like saying, like you had to go back in time. But I'm like, no. It was like almost like in that fork in the road, like I could go down this path and just kind of like re-loop again until I'm here again, or I can go to the higher version of myself. And
so what'd you choose?
No, obviously the higher version.
I like how you say obviously, but how many people would have maybe not just because it's the unknown path?
Yeah. But it is hard. Like I've even noticed lately, like our spiritual practice, sometimes it is work. And like, I'm like, I don't know, all of a sudden lately, this last couple of weeks, which mind you, I've been, had a lot of grief again around me. And I always just get like right back and I'm just like, oh, and I'm like, this is the time I really need to step into my practices, and I kind of been slacking, so I can feel it negatively on my body. And it's like, okay, these practices actually work, and this is why I help people because they actually do work. So I have to get my butt into gear again. But
Well, because I'm me and I'm nosy, and all of you know that. Everybody here, thank you for being here. First off, what inspires you when you get off track to get going again? Like, is there something that is every time, because we all step off track. I mean, I
Oh
step off
yeah.
track all the time.
Yeah.
Um, but is there something that inspires you to get back there that kind of
Honestly,
keeps
my
you?
number one is I hate feeling like this. I
Mhm.
don't like sitting around and having no energy, or like not wanting to clean my house, or not wanting to work out, or wanting to eat like too much junk food or something, and then they negatively affect me, and I just don't like feeling like that. So I'm really always thinking like, how can I get back to what I actually want to feel good? Like, I have to begin the trust with myself, right? And I always feel like if I want other people to trust me, and not if I have to start having this good trusting relationship with myself. So I know that number one always comes back to me.
So, is there something that you do that gets you going? Like, we all have a little thing. Like, is there something kind of your go-to that you'd be open to sharing with everybody here that is your get you back on track, get you back in the flow of doing the work? Because I get it.
Yes,
It's work. It's not and it's not
it
always fun.
is.
It's not always fun.
It is, and I keep going back to it, like, all the time. It's spiritual work, or whatever work it is. It's a workout, it's and then at the every time we do it, it's a practice. Like, we're never gonna be perfect, and I always say, like, doctors who are doing medicine for 20, 50 years, they're still practicing, right? So it's like we always have room for growth. But what always gets me back is doing my morning um I do a morning meditation, morning practice with journaling, and think I'm looking like way off, and I gotta look the other way, right?
Okay, I have it
um,
on an angle and I try. I like to look at people's eyes. I am that guy. I like to look at
I'm
people's eyes
looking at
when
your
I'm
eyes
talking.
too. So am I looking like over
Yeah, no,
there?
you're good. You're
Okay.
absolutely good. No, but that's the thing. I know I haven't quite figured out the height of my computer where I can sit like this and it not have to go like this because I keep
Yeah.
putting it down.
Okay, so sorry about that. So distraction 101, get back in a track. So I always do my morning practice, and I think, how can I love myself today? How can I love my body today? Okay, maybe that is a workout. Maybe it's just eating vegetables for breakfast. How can I love my mind? Okay, maybe today I want to read a couple pages of a book, or learn something, right? Or maybe it's not watching the news, because that can always make you go wonky donkey, right? And then how can I feel grounded in my body today? Maybe it's doing a nice bath, or breath work, or body yantra. I just always try to really bring it back to myself, and how I can alleviate what I've been accumulating. Because that in Ayurveda, again, something I practice, is we accumulate, and then we get aggravated, and then we alleviate. So it's the
It's
three
true.
A's. So when you're in not doing your practices, you start accumulating, and it's fine. Everybody does it. And like, nobody's going to be perfect. And if you're 100% perfect, you're probably still accumulating, because that's stressful trying to be perfect, right? So
I gave up on
just,
that a long time ago. This is
yeah.
why you guys get the messy hair and the headband because you know what? It's frizzy right now. And it's when I first started doing the podcast, I was always so like, okay, hair, lashes, the whole thing, right? Like be
Yeah.
perfect. I mean, I miss my lashes. Keely Fame, I am coming for you because I want my lashes back. I don't wear makeup, but this is, lashes are just that little thing. So
I
Scott
was
here
just
wants to
thinking
know.
about that today too.
Oh, I know. I was like, I'm coming to town next on Saturday. So I'm there for 10 days. I'm like, oh my God, I can get my lashes done. That's that Christmas treat. It's my one like little treat to myself. So Scott wants to know, do you find yourself getting off track during a specific time of the year, like a season?
Yes, it's
That's
usually about this time.
yeah.
And that's because we're just naturally bred to, and it's innateness to hibernate and chill and relax. So, right? So it's darker, it's harder to get motivated, it's harder to stay on track. Um, it's cold, it's wet, it's windy. You want to ground, and a lot of the times we don't know how to properly ground and get our bodies in sync with the mother earth and the nature, and we choose to eat foods that send us off the deep end, that are actually taking us more out of balance than into balance. So I usually find it's this month, and I'm like, oh, Christmas treats, like, oh, maybe I'm just gonna eat them all. So it's like hard. It's like once you go off that slight edge, right? But it's always
Well,
just bringing yourself back.
it's funny. Getting like I had this sinus cold last week,
Yeah.
and I went completely to bone broth, chicken broth, beef broth, like
Yummy.
totally, and getting off the sugar, like any form of sugar. It felt amazing, but you have that little bit of withdrawal where you're like,
Mm-hmm.
maybe I actually
100% you
miss.
do.
And so like my goal actually for this time, because this mine is October. My
Mm.
season is October, and I figured this out 15 years ago. For whatever reason, October hits and something in my body changes. Like I get through this, I seem to hold a lot of inflammation and I could never figure it out. So like, I mean, and I've done like no sugar October where I haven't eaten a stick of processed sugar, even like reduced, even like natural sugars and all this stuff. But there's something about October that causes me to be inflamed. And it's really interesting because I notice it. And I try not
Yeah.
to focus on it because I can get hyper focused on, oh my God, okay, what does my diet look like? But getting off this sugar during this little sinus cold, it was very interesting this time because outside of a 24-hour gap where I'm like, maybe I just want that, like, almond floured chocolate chip muffin that's sitting there. I couldn't taste it anyhow. Like eating it was purposeless.
Yeah.
But I had a bite of it and I actually remember thinking to myself, yeah, no, I'm good. And it's been an interesting because that trend has stayed. Now today we fell off the wagon because we found this bakery and they have the best like homemade donuts ever.
Yummy.
But even then I couldn't eat it all. I was like, okay. But getting away from that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, my season is October. It's crazy.
Yeah. And I also it keeps coming up too.
Yeah.
I also notice if you've had trauma or big things happen in your life, like I know for me, Sadie, her birthday and like passing, those two, like my body holds the traumas for those days. And I do notice that I start to get off track probably about almost like a month before. And then it takes me quite a while to come back into flow again.
Yeah, it's I noticed that the more time I check in and I self-evaluate, I find that I'm starting to get back on track
Mm-hmm.
faster. I'm not
Oh,
losing as
totally.
many days. I mean, I lose days like like it's just one of those things. I think that all of us working hard at, I gave up perfection a long time ago because I wanted to focus on consistency. And I really
Mm-hmm.
found that
I love
changing
that.
that mindset was massive. Like
Oh,
I
totally.
stopped like my overthinking part of my brain, read between the lines because I'm the guy who, unfortunately, being empathic, I always hear what you mean versus what you say, or feel what you mean
Yeah.
versus what you do, and that creates a lot of confusion. Not so much when pulling cards because it's definitely a bonus there, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So trying to stay in tune with that can always kind of be a little bit throw you off a bit. But
Yeah. And it's just like you said, being aware too of it and knowing that it's not perfection, it's just showing up and
yeah,
consistent, right?
consistency. And that can be one thing a day or 100 things a day. It all depends,
Exactly.
right? So
Yeah.
tonight we talked about cards. Now, I totally
Mhm.
forgot my water. So if my voice gets cracky, you're in charge. Um, it's the last part of this sinus cold, right? The voice,
Yes.
it's almost normal. We're like at 1-800 operator, not 900 operator anymore. So we've moved,
That's
back up
good.
to that more
Yeah.
squeaky, less raspy. But when we talk about cards, now I want to talk about how you got into cards. Like, what was your first experience with cards? Both either whether you were pulling them, whether you were getting a reading. What was that like for you, and what kind of drew you to it?
Um, I had my cards first pulled. I was actually kind of a bit older. I was probably like 25-ish years old. And I was like in awe of everything that was coming up. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's true. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. And from that moment, I was just like, I need my own cards. And I got my deck of cards, and I was always pulling cards, and I always pulled cards for people. And everyone always was resonating with anything that I pulled. But the thing is, when you first start, or for me, maybe not everybody, but the connection I had with my cards wasn't, I could look at the card and tell you what was on the card. I'd
Mm-hmm.
have to read the book. And I thought that was okay. I was like, I'm going to learn the book eventually, kind of like the tarot, right? Like there's a lot of
Mm-hmm.
learning. But I went to angel practitioner lady, and she was like, don't read your cards for a year. And I'm like, what? Don't read my cards for a year? Like, I'm always doing my cards. She's like, don't do it. I'm like, oh my gosh. She's like, it's just not meant for you right now. Just stop pulling your cards. And I was like, oh my gosh. Like, I love my cards. Like, how can I not pull cards for a whole year? So they just sat there and sat there and sat there. And someone had reached out to me like a year later, almost to the day, and they said, hey, do you do card readings? And I was like, well, no, but I'll pull your cards.
No,
So
but this sounds familiar. I've seen
yeah,
this story once or twice.
so I pulled the cards, and I was like, I knew what to write. Like there was no needing to write in the book. Like the connection I developed by not doing my cards was like crazy. Like even talking about it right now, my head is like pulsing. I can
I know you're
feel like
ready. I can feel it. It's
like my
she's
head
like,
is so tingly, and it's crazy because I just didn't have that connection before. And you think stepping away from something for a whole year, wow, how is that going to grow? But it was me learning my intuition, me learning what I was seeing, feeling, hearing, knowing, sensing. And I wasn't able to connect those dots when I was looking at the card and looking in the book. But being the medium and progressing down that avenue, like it was crazy as soon as I started reading cards again.
and do you find now that like continues to inspire you to keep pulling?
Yeah, I do. I love it.
Do you know what? Okay, I don't know about you, but I always have my own personal practice, like where
Mm-hmm.
I pull 3 cards as a rule. Now sometimes those 3 cards turn into 10. Like sometimes they take a mind of their own.
Mm-hmm.
And do you have a specific pattern that you do for yourself and
I
one that
usually
you
just
do
do
for
3.
others? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, I always do 3. And I always, the Kyle Gray, he always has like a strength, a heart, and a challenge. And I always like that one. So I usually stick with a 3 card. We're doing Oracle. I do Oracle cards.
Funny enough, I picked Oracle cards as well. Like when I was gonna borrow my tarot card, but like I said earlier, I was telling Jenny off
Mm-hmm.
this tarot deck that I bought. Might have, I might have been like maybe 22 at the time, and I bought it thinking I would use it for readings because at the time I was
Mm-hmm.
doing readings, and that deck is like not the nicest deck in the world. It's actually the one I try to avoid the most because it's not nice. It's like it's just it's rude. Yeah, you
Yeah.
heard me. It can hear me. It's back here. It's probably sitting there going, "Huh, I'm not gonna." Next time she wants to pull cards, nothing's gonna work but me, because it does that to me. And it is the one where it gives me the message that I need the most, and the one I don't want to hear the
Mm-hmm.
most is usually comes out of my tarot deck.
Yeah.
My oracle cards seem to be a little bit nicer because they seem to be a little more soft. And so,
Those are the
but
ones
yeah.
I have, or the
Oh,
Kyle,
look at
the
you.
Kyle Gray. To
Yeah,
be
I
honest,
haven't
I don't know why
seen
this
that
keeps
deck.
coming up, but I'm gonna say it anyway. When I first started, like back in the day about cards, I always was nervous about tarot cards. They were like
Oh yeah,
they kind of weird black magic me, and I was scared of them, to be honest. And like, but even like being a medium or seeing dead people was creepy, and
okay,
it's
you
not
can say that
anything
on
like that.
Twitter
And
because
it's
I say it all the
actually,
time.
and it's just actually just spirit coming through. And I wish that I learned tarot because I feel like they are just that extra little bit. But I know that my connection with source and the angels and all that is just as powerful as tarot, but that's why
I
I still
find
go
that
with the
messages
oracle.
are the same. Like really, when you,
Hmm.
I don't know about you, but I don't need the deck to get the message.
No.
I like to pull cards for people because it gives that tangible moment
Hmm.
of what's coming out and what's being channeled, but they can see it. And
Yes.
I have yet to see the cards misalign themselves.
Oh,
Like,
totally. Never
oh,
have. Never have.
I've tried. I've been like, I'm going to set 3 different intentions and blah blah blah. Well, the one that you know was meant to be will be,
Yeah.
and it's really quite funny. And I find it very. I try to pull at least once a day, even if it's just one card, to get that. Especially for me, it gets me inspired. I don't know why, but the energy while pulling gets me into that creative, inspirational side of myself, where then I want to sit down and start creating something. And it's usually the
Yes.
message usually has nothing with to do with what I'm creating, but it opens up that creative force that sometimes I bury a little too deep inside of me. So
That's so true. I agree with that because sometimes in my morning practice when I do journaling and I'm just like not feeling inspired to write, I pull a card and then I'm like, okay, what do I need to know about this? And it usually ends up being really inspirational, like you said, and you're just like, whoa, that's crazy.
and I try to read the message like hours later that go along with the card. I'm like, oh damn, snap. And that's actually how I
Yeah.
found my confidence with the channeling through cards, was like actually it's doing the message and then going back and looking at what the message, the card, the creator of the card had said.
Yeah.
And it was just that little bit of confirmation got me past my own little hump of maybe I'm not crazy. Maybe I
No,
do know what I'm doing.
you're
So
definitely not crazy.
you ready? You
Are
want to
you?
pull?
Sure.
Where are we
Do I just,
pulling? What are we pulling for today?
I
Can
don't
we pull
know.
one for the collective and see what comes
Sure.
through?
Oh, it already just flew open. Okay. These flew out when I was. So get grounded.
Ooh,
Here, where am
you
I?
hear that, guys? We're all getting that message.
I need to get grounded so bad right now.
So,
Grounded and soul family.
interesting.
Calling your tribe. You don't have to do it alone. So this is my Rebecca Campbell working.
Now I've never seen this deck. Jenny showed me this deck when we logged on, and I have not. I surprised because I love decks, and I hadn't seen this deck before. So.
Oh my gosh, I love it. It's
get
so
grounded
different.
in soul family.
Yeah. So it says get grounded, empaths, highly sensitive, connect to nature. And it's funny because I've definitely been feeling so called and everybody to get connected to nature right now. I don't know if I was saying it on this show last week, but I keep having this whatever, I keep imagining in my head that we are these energetic beings, right?
Yeah.
And we're almost like a battery. And I keep seeing myself connected to source and connected to the earth. And sometimes like we keep bringing energy in, and maybe our battery, AKA bodies, are not inserted into the remote control, the earth, properly. And it just keeps filling with all this energy. And we can't properly go through life. We can't properly digest our thoughts, feelings, emotions, experiences if we're not plugged into the earth. And so I keep seeing this plus this minus of this just like circular like conduit of energy moving from the top of my head out the bottom of my feet and just being so connected with source and to the earth. And I'm just like, everybody needs to get grounded and just really start connecting and even pretending you have like an extension cord. I would love the Avatar tale if anybody else loves Avatar as much as me, because that is us right now. Like we just go to sleep and then we plug back into our avatars in the morning. So, and I always just plug my tail into the earth and I envision the earth just really coming up underneath me and supporting me. And it helps just let that energies flow, right?
I feel like it gets stuck. And like as
Oh,
you're talking,
100%.
I can feel this, collective stuck, in the solar plex, just where the diaphragm meets and you come into the solar plex chakra, that power center, that is where I believe our force of creation is. That's where I
Mm-hmm.
believe. I get the heart. A lot of people get drawn to the heart chakra, but I believe our force of creation, our light body, actually exists within our solar plex chakra.
Mm-hmm.
But you think about the sun being electric and the earth being magnetic, right? We are electric magnetic beings. We give off a pulse, and that harmonic tone. When you talk about plugging in, one of the things I do all the time, that saying, as above, so below,
Yeah.
as so below, as above. Well, I think about the cord going into the heart of Mother Earth.
Mm-hmm.
And that's my grounding practice is when I go out and I meditate out in the snow, and I do enjoy that connection in that freezing cold temperature, because it's a mind mess up in the beginning. But plugging into the core crystal of Mother Earth, or her source energy.
Yeah.
And you, like the avatar, I always imagine it coming from my root tailbone, the tip of my tailbone, through my legs, down through my feet.
Yeah.
And anybody who takes my Tuesday night class knows that I've used that imagery all the time when it comes to grounding. So it's
I love it so much.
and
And
we're
it
in
works.
we're in this place of upheaval right now. Like, talking about the news should be turning it off and not listening to it, and taking a moment to see what where you resonate and what you sit with. But I found, like, especially in the last couple of years, the news got me really ungrounded and got me into a fear space, feeling fear, being fearful. And when I stopped and took a break, and really focused on grounding, it really started to shift. And I was able to even now watch the news and just not be as emotionally affected in that fear space as I once was. So it's changed it for me, like being a part of society a little bit differently, being grounded and knowing that, I'm safe. We're sturdy.
Yeah,
We're
and
strong.
supported. I keep hearing like I'm supported, right? That's what I keep, like, that's like almost like masculine energy to me, kind of like just being supported by the earth.
Well, yeah, and that divine feminine, the divine masculine coming together in
Mm-hmm.
harmony. So how many of you guys are feeling ungrounded? Like, where do you guys, what makes you guys feel ungrounded? Like, what are some things in your life, Jenny, that kind of throw you off balance and get you out of that connection with Mother Earth?
Screen time, and I love screen time.
Yeah.
Like, it's so bad. Like, I don't know if it's like, I don't know. My brain just loves the short little videos of like, and then I'm like sitting there and I feel like a zombie and I can't get out of it. So a lot of screen time, school, because I'm always I'm learning, and that's very vata inducing, which is the opposite of being grounded. So it's more of like your head in the clouds. So anything really that you take in through your senses can be very vata inducing. So yeah, a lot of it is screen time, and I'm doing two classes right now, 2 courses. So that really throws me off, and not grounding.
Mine is letting myself believe I'm bored. When I believe, or I have the thought that I'm bored, I get into my airspace, and I get up, like, like into that air element where you get flighty and you're like, woo! That has been me. Like, if I'm doing something repetitive, I get very ungrounded. Even though I like my routines, don't get me wrong, people, I love my routines, but my routines can have some consistent aspects, and then they have to have many different be very different all the time. So yeah, the one thing that gets me really ungrounded is that if I feel like I'm getting bored.
Yeah, and I feel that all the time. It's really hard for me to not do anything. I like always, sleep is really a tough one, because when you're laying there, like, when you're not sleeping, are you worrying about something, or are you planning something the next day?
Me, it's the freaking moon. It is the moon cycle. Oh, that one. Sheesh. If I haven't dealt with my stuff and it lines up with the full moon, I am not sleeping for a week. Like, I am.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, it's yeah. Yeah, it throws me right off. So the other card, the soul family. What do you
calling your
get for what?
tribe. You call in your tribe. You don't have to do it alone. I always feel like this for myself too, is like sometimes it could be a lot of the times I always feel like it could be a little bit of a trauma response. You have people in your life who you want to rely on, but you can't rely on. And then you kind of like start doing things on your own. And then a lot of the times you feel like you're by yourself. And that's kind of when you start having your awakening, I guess. And you're just like really have that time to go in, go deep. What the heck's showing up for me? How can I move through this? And you start dropping friends. You start not connecting with people who are in your close circle, your family, everything's shifting. And I feel like when we're in these times, it allows us to release the things that are holding us back and no longer serving us. And in divine timing, you will start meeting more alike people, more aligned people, people who are your soul family, people who want the things that you want in your life. They want to look forward. They want to move forward. They want to do big things with their life. And they're supporting you. They're guiding you. They're holding you up, right? And these are I feel like we're coming into that. Like a lot of people are changing. A lot of people are going through the times of shedding things that are no longer serving them. And they're kind of feeling alone. And I feel like more groups, more circles, more communities of like-minded people are going to open up. And eventually we're all just going to start raising up together. And that's what I really, truly feel. And I feel that's where the soul family is coming from.
Hey, I couldn't agree more with you. Now, I want to touch on that, but Stone said his mind is always racing. Do you have any suggestions on like something in your practice that you utilize if your mind is racing?
Yep. So the mind racing is the bottom balance. Again, and it pulls into the not being grounded. So if there's anything that you can do before bedtime to really get into the mood before bed, trying to screen time's huge. And if you are going to watch it, at least let it be something good. Like don't watch the news, don't watch scary violent movies, like something really nice and sweet, like nature, a cheesy Hallmark movie. Do some reading, like that's just gentle. You can have like a nice warm milk with like a golden milk, something that's going to relax you, having a nice bath. I keep hearing journaling and brain dumping. So anything that you're thinking about, just write it down, get it out of your mind. One thing that I always do, and it's a really good grounding practice, it's called body yantra. So I always do it with my hip bones and my pelvic bone. And I close my eyes and I feel where my hip bones are. And you can kind of feel where your pelvic bone is and breathe into your pelvic or your hip bone on the one side. And I always do a nice full breath. And then I go and I use an invisible line and I draw it to the other side. So now we have this line from hip to hip. And then we're going to breathe in and then breathe out. And then we're going to draw the line down to our pelvic bone. And then we're going to do the same thing all the way up. So now we have this downward triangle. So not only does it bring you back into your body, into your bones, into the space, it helps your breathing. It helps calm that parasympathetic nervous system and just starts to really relax you. And you're focusing on not a crazy thought that's going on in your mind. And then I always do this. It's like the got your nose. So this is a sleep mudra.
Yeah.
Did you say meditation that you're doing? Is it a guided meditation?
He just said reading always helps. Light meditation definitely.
Yes. So make
Is
sure
a
it's a
possibility.
grounding meditation, a good one that's getting in your body. So you don't want to like a lot of the times, like I used to like some of the like the Deepak
I used to do the
meditations,
astral plane ones. Oh my
but
God.
they
I mean,
don't ground you. You don't get grounded. You're not in your
no,
body. It's
you're on
all
the journey and
vata. Like
you're
so anytime you're just on a
exhausted.
journey into outer space, you are not grounded. You're out and you're making more, you're giving a like attracts like. So you're bringing in more of what you don't want right now. So that's why it's important to get into your body and do the grounding cord of light if you want to. Like the downward triangle brings you into the
I
ground.
like that. Like, because you're bringing your energy in here. You're bringing it back to your body.
You
You're
don't want
taking
it
from
out here.
all.
Yes. You want to bring it back in. Bring it back into yourself. And I'm telling you, if you do this, and it might take like a little bit, like it took me about a week or so to like get really comfortable with it. But when I do this and I do my body yantra, I wake up and the next day I'm like, oh, it worked again. Yes, that's good.
I love my binary beats and I love my lateral beats. I love my music when I go to, but I pick music for grounding sleep. Like I definitely living in the mountains and where we live, we don't get a lot of rain here. So actually coming from the coast, coming from the rainforest, it's the one thing that we've been missing a little bit of. So I tend to add a little bit of rain in there.
I listen to rain sounds too when I'm sleeping.
Or the ocean as a kid, like listening to the ocean and sleeping with the ocean.
And the ocean too also can be like very grounding because it's like bringing in what's like not serving you and bringing out. But if any thoughts that you can, I'm very like, I think a lot in my head and like just visioning that grounding cord of light and just really feeling the bed beneath you, feeling supported. The heavier you feel, the more grounded you'll feel.
I really also, the other thing I love is I use my centering practice, and it's something I use to bring me back to my body. So I go, I pay attention. I find my home base. I call it home base. You can call it your center core. You can call it your special place. You can call it. You've done this. We've done this one. And this is another one that I use in my sessions to bring people back to home, back to here, back to center. And it's about going out in front of you and noticing the
yes.
And then you come back.
So that's like body yantra.
It is. And you come back, and every time you come back, you give yourself permission to go twice as deep, twice as fast. I mean, I set my intent. I know. And then I go behind me and I come back. I go to the left, to the right of me, above and below me. But I always end with the going up, and then I call back my energy from all time and space, all situations, experiences, persons. And I come and I bring it all back home. And sometimes I focus on the screen time, being on the screen, being in the car, cooking, cleaning, working, sessions, writing, creating, like whatever I've done that day. I also bring that footprint home because it's super important to think about our day. Because we do so much in a day. I'm sorry. We do a million things in a day. And we leave fragments of ourselves everywhere.
Oh, totally.
So bringing each other home and bringing everything home again is super important.
And other people think about us and take our energy too.
They do. And if you're awake in the night, you're awake in somebody's dreams.
Really? That's cool.
Yeah, we'll touch on that on another show about how people can actually tap into your energy through dreams and through intent and through thought, through thinking about you. It's not always a bad thing, but it's, you have to make sure. That's why all situations and persons and experiences those are really big, important things that takes back your energy from anybody you have come across or any footprint you left in the supermarket or at work, wherever you went, or even in your car, you'll leave a footprint. There's an energetic footprint of you. So we had a question up here about the full moon. About it's the full moon is a funny thing. Each moon represents a different source of energy, and depending on how it affects you, can be like, you're supposed to feel energized after, but a lot of people get unsettled during because the pull is pulling at whatever sometimes unrecognized, unaware energies, emotions, thoughts, beliefs, perceptions that you might be holding in your body, in your mindset, in your energy field. So sometimes it can be very energizing where you feel amazing. You're like, yeah. And other times it's like, oh God, I haven't slept for days. So it just depends on where you're at, Scott. I think it was Scott who made that comment. So I just wanted to touch back on that when we got a chance. So back to cards. So I pulled this card, Summon the Rain. Ooh. And I pulled this while you were talking about the soul family. And what I heard in my head. This card it's not about summoning the physical rain. It's about connecting with the elements of your body and the elements that you possess. And water is a huge element in the physical body. And we're very much a water-based being. So when we connect with that water element, we have this beautiful ability to reshape the energy that we hold within us and around us. So you think about your rain, your falling, cascading water of electromagnetic energy. Think about what that represents for you, and taking time to sit with the food and the elements that you ingest and putting intention into it, putting in energy that you want to host within you into those things, especially your water, your drinks, your coffee, your tea, anything that you are ingesting that way that has a water element to it. Your body is closely absorbing it, and it's closely resonating and vibrating in that tone and frequency, in that harmonic band. So focusing on that can really help shift. Even if you, and I was going to mention this, and it's funny, I pulled the card, was sometimes I have a glass of water before I go to bed, and it's not a cold glass, it's not a hot glass, it's kind of like a room temperature glass of water, but I hold it and I put my intent into it, what I want for sleep. And then this card popped up. So I feel like that's an important out there. But it is talking to the water element in your body and building that connection with it, because we are beings made of water element. So we are fluid and we're flowing. When we get stuck we get into chaos, or we get our mindset into one direction and one direction only, like that tunnel vision, that's when our water element within us gets constricted, it gets damned. So giving it permission to be in flow is another really important thing that I got collective with this as well. This card's really talkative right now. So letting yourself letting yourself discover the flow that you're meant to discover, and that will shift both your internal landscape and your external landscape, and what you are attracting and what you're manifesting. So
I feel like this powerful energy coming from the card. Like I feel like it's revving, like you're just feeling like so empowered.
So yeah, so that one, summon the rain, people, for the collective, or for those of you this resonates with you. And any of the cards that resonates with you, you can always ask for more guidance on that. And if you give yourself the opportunity, that guidance will come, whether it be tonight in this show or throughout the next couple days. All right. So Jenny, you want to pull another one?
Sure. I'm going to do my other deck. I haven't done this one in a while. So
can you show everybody the deck that you're pulling from?
This one is the Kyle Gray one, the Angel.
I've never seen this deck. I think I'm
going to love this one. And look at the bright orange, vibrant color of this one.
Oh, that's pretty.
Oh, it's so nice.
I have a sweater that matches that.
It's just so good. I don't know why.
I love orange. I love, you know what? Anything neon, guys, I'm in. I'm totally in.
Yeah.
And I don't care if it's the middle of winter or summertime.
So this one says take charge and action, which is so funny because I feel like you just said that. Or that's what I just got from your. Like, look at that warrior. Like the power that he has in his hands, like, and you can see the source energy just flowing into him right now and out his hands. So I don't know if anyone's taking a Reiki course right now, but it's making me think that too. Take charge and action. Like, I'm just getting like a huge hit on source energy. And I feel like someone here is getting so many downloads and inspirational ideas. And they're like, I feel like they're kind of nervous to take this pathway, but I do see like you're getting all this guidance, all these downloads, and you keep getting these hits of like how you're going to like change your life. And I feel like you're totally not doing anything about it right now. And that's what you need to do, is take charge and action. And I feel like your life is going to like actually blow up. Like, look at this arrow. Like, it's a hot arrow of source. And it's just like, you're the one who has to take the shot. Like, I can see it. It's a bullseye. Can you see the arrow in the picture?
I can, and I see, but where I'm drawn is to all the like the metallic colors, like stepping into your universal rays of light and opening
Yes.
up that way. That's the feeling I got for that. Whomever this might sit with, it is stepping into your universal ray light body and allowing your light body to guide you.
Yeah. But I think like, yeah, it's just like having that. It is scary. It is always scary stepping into something new. And it's just taking that one step and once you get past it, it's just like, oh, this is my life now. And then there'll be another little scary stone that you have to jump ahead. And then you're like, oh, okay, well, I'm getting used to this now. And it's just like, but every time you do it, you're growing and you're growing and you're growing.
Well, it's funny because you talk about that, and I'm like, I've never really pulled cards that much on like a channel on a YouTube or done anything like that because I usually keep this part of my life pretty quiet.
What? I love going
I know.
live and people, I just pull cards for.
What else you got for us?
Okay, I'm gonna do another one because I feel like there needs to be like another.
I know. I was going to ask you if there's another one that goes along with that because,
Like, does anybody want a card? Like, say, can I have a card?
yeah, guys, let's do this. Anybody who wants to jump on right now wants a card. Let's give us a little like shout out, and Jenny will pull for you, or I will.
Because I prefer like doing them.
Yeah.
So I know, and then I can connect to your energy.
Well, Stone, I'm glad it was just the nudge that you needed. You got this.
Yeah, and it's funny because this fell out, signs and symbols. So whoever that was for is definitely getting signs and symbols. Okay,
All right,
Scott,
we got Scott.
I'll pull Scott a card. Strength and guidance is your card. Ooh, strength and guidance. I'm feeling a little bit not confused about the guidance. Like, I feel like you have everything that you already need right now, to be honest, your strength, and you already know what to do. But I'm feeling like this is you showing up for somebody else. Like, I feel like you need to show up strong and help guide somebody else. And if you see, like, there is this little dot here, the third eye, and I feel like you already know that you need to show up and help this person, and that like you have this connection with them right now, and whatever they need, you'll be able to offer them.
And I'm gonna add to this because
Sure,
we're doing this.
Yes, you're double down, and this is awesome.
I really felt as soon as you pulled that card that there was a block between the high heart and the throat chakra. So like opening up and feeling that, letting that your inner voice and your inner intuitive self be shared and
exactly
expanded. That's what I felt that one. So
yes, totally. That's what I feel too. Like he already knows he needs to help this person, and then you're feeling the block because he's not doing what he needs to do, right?
So
totally,
there we go.
That's there double confirmation.
Trying not to pick on like tap in, but it's like, whew, I get hit hard.
No, that's perfect. That's what we want to do. They're getting awesome stuff right now. Okay, so we have. Is it Risa? Was she next?
Risa? Yeah, she's next. I'm putting my like little cursor on the next person so I don't miss anybody. But guys, if we miss you, just like pop back on again. And it's not intentional. This is the first time I've done this, and this whole like manning like comments is a lot more than people like. It's
okay. I just got this one for you. It says Sisterhood of the Rose, Beauty and Devotion, Priestess, Mystic, and Teacher.
Ooh.
So you are here to raise the vibration of women around you. And I feel that you are going to create that soul family, that community around you. I can feel like you have a divine connection. Like my head is throbbing again. Like the connection that you have with source is crazy. If you're not sharing already, you need to dive deep into sharing. You are here for that reason. You have been, they say, training for this for lifetimes. Like you are a teacher. You are the epitome of priestess. And they're also having me say that I feel like some things have happened in your life before that you might not feel worthy of people seeing you as a teacher or holding you at that level. But know that you don't have to be held at this high level. It's just showing up for your community and teaching and sharing to help others grow around you. I just feel like you have like something to offer, and that I don't know if you're doing it already, but if you are, then you're a rock star. If not, then you better start. What do you get, Jen?
Well, that's what I meant was like, wow, up here, like letting it all
Yeah.
flow from your crown chakra, your
Like
higher
my head
self,
hasn't stopped.
reconnecting in that space and letting that be a part of your journey if you choose now. Like, it was just like big, massive energy sitting here waiting
Huge.
for the opening.
Like it's like actually like itchy on my head. Like it's crazy.
So very cool.
Yeah.
I wanted to see how that unfolds for you. Okay. So next is Diane.
Oh, perfect, Diane.
And there was a weird comment there, guys, about some dating thing, and that got just X-nayed. So I don't know how to set up monitors, but I need to give somebody the power to from a princess.
Diane, the card that you got is yes. Full body yes. Just say yes. Whatever you have been sitting on, it's a yes. And I always go back to my teacher always says, when you have like a decision to make in your life, you'll know if it's a yes or no. Like what is she says, if it's not F yes, it's a F no. And you can totally feel that in your body. Like if it's not a yes, then it's a no. But I do feel like it's a yes.
Sweet. I know more about Diane, so I'm staying out of that.
I feel like she's changing into something. Like I see her in like a gown and stuff. So I don't know if she's like, I almost want to. It's like a big change of some sort. I don't know if it's a career change, but I'm feeling like something fancy schmancy. Like I feel more glamorous. I feel higher level when I'm saying yes. And I just keep seeing you in a gown. A gown, not a gown. Like walking.
The only one that is cool.
Can you see it too?
Stepping into the goddess. Stepping into the goddess.
Like I don't know. I just feel like it's very expansive. I see like you just said, stepping into the goddess. Like there's a definite change in your timeline when you say yes.
Very cool.
But I don't know if like I keep seeing the back of you, which is also they're just saying like maybe you might lose a few things. Like you'll have to kind of turn your back to a few things if you do say yes. Because I feel like it's kind of odd. Like I just keep seeing you walk away and I'm seeing the back. So maybe it's just like know that when you do say yes, like your life, some things you can't bring with you. If that makes sense. But that's okay because Cora, okay.
Cora. I'm staying out of this one too because, I know Cora pretty well. I'm sure I've said all of it to her. That's right, Cora. I put that on.
Wow, everybody is just up and up here. You got opportunity and change too.
Ha! Just leave it at that one and mic drop that one for her. That's right, Cora. Wasn't just me saying it.
Yes, and this one feels different to me with like the other. Just this opportunity and change is going to be life-changing for you in the fact that whatever you're doing right now is not serving you. Like I really feel like it's kind of I'm feeling very stressed. I feel a lot of weight on my shoulders. And when I feel this new change coming, like I feel lighter, I feel free. And I keep being drawn to these birds flying, like almost like, and I keep wanting to say eagle, even though that's not what's on the picture here. But when you think about this opportunity change, is taking that eagle eye perspective and coming all the way back and seeing the big picture and not just what's at hand right now. Is like what you can see that's in front of you. And I don't know if this change is like, I just really know it's like for your health. Like I'm feeling like it's for your health, and that maybe, I don't know if I really want to bring the money situation in, but I feel like maybe like you might have to give up something. Like it's not as exciting of a deal in a certain area when you do this change, but your whole body and your life will change if you take this opportunity, if that makes sense to you at all.
Well, I know Cora, and I know that. All right, staying out of it. Last talking, Jen, because. All right, so I know Stone said this, but then he was like, "Okay, I'll take a card." So let's do another one for Stone. I know the other one hit him.
I'm gonna do one of these too.
The collective hit hard, but let's do another one. And then we got Purple Princess up next. Yeah, Purple Princess, you're getting a card. And then, and Cora says shocking, by the way. Makes perfect sense. Just a heads up, which I knew it would.
Okay, Stone. This one I got for you is the sacred plan. And it's funny because I just feel like for this card, the sacred plan is coming back into your body. I feel like you've been disconnected from yourself for a while, and I feel like using some of those grounding practices that we talked about and coming back in your body, and even Jen's card with the rain, like I'm feeling like charging up the things around you in this high vibrational energy is going to like elevate your energy. I feel like maybe you're a little bit kind of like in a lull right now, but I feel that it's coming out, and it will be, I know I keep seeing January and February. So just keep like really stepping into yourself. I keep seeing like my journal. So it's like doing a sacred morning practice. And again, like, what do I need? What do I want? What do I need right now? How can I nourish my body? How can I move my body? How can I love my body? Just something every day to do something for yourself. And I feel like the more you come into alignment with yourself, like everything in your life is going to change. And it's just like this beautiful golden light that is surrounding you. And once you start really connecting to yourself, like everything's going to change around you.
Yeah, I keep hearing the external, internal mind. So bringing them into the collective of self, the collective of your light body. So very cool. And then we have Purple Princess. And then I got a text message on my phone here from Miss Barb Adams wants a card.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah. We went.
Yeah, because like, what if you're on your phone watching? How do you comment? Do you just put it?
You can comment on YouTube, or if you're on Facebook, you can comment. And because Cora is actually on the Facebook feed, so we're doing both Facebook and YouTube tonight.
Oh wow!
I would really love to be able to live stream the whole thing to TikTok as well. So if TikTok can hear me, which I know it can, please allow StreamYard to
Purple Princess
stream for you.
The ever unfolding rose cracked open. It's happening for you, not to you. I always love when this card comes because, well, maybe not always love, but it's awesome because you're probably going through a shitstorm right now. A super shitstorm, and I'm sorry that you're going through that, and I don't mean to smile. But the reason why I'm smiling is because I know shit is going to be good soon. Like when we are cracked open, like it always makes me emotional. And I'm going to go with you're feeling emotional too. When things happen in our life, like it's not like it says, it's not meant to hurt us. It's meant for us to grow. It's a reflection, it's a mirror, it's an opportunity for growth, awareness, for change, to see what's serving us, what's not. And sometimes when I keep seeing like this is something that's maybe happened a few times, like maybe a handful of times. And that's okay because each time we grow, and it's not like, oh, I'm so dumb. I can't believe I did this again. And it's like every time we step back and our lesson wasn't done. It wasn't done. We had to come back. We had to get more tools. Maybe we had to even learn how to use the tools that we thought we learned. And then we execute them and they're like, well, that didn't work as good. So it's like just being able to come back to yourself and knowing, like, again, everything happens for a reason. And they're showing me puzzle pieces right now. And like our life is made up of a puzzle. Like there's so many different things. There's so many moments, and each moment is a puzzle piece. And your life is not one moment, it's not one puzzle piece. Yes, it makes up the entire puzzle, but that's not who you are. That's not what your life is about. It's about all of those things together. And then eventually you have this badass picture of your life, and it's amazing. And you are going to, you're just learning right now. So don't feel like you're, and they're also having me say like, I wish I was farther ahead. And that's okay if you're not. And you are right where you're supposed to be. And if you were supposed to be somewhere else, you would be. So just know. And that's a moving energy for you here. So obviously you have to also, I don't know if you want to set boundaries or something, like let some things off your chest in a nice manner.
Oh, that's awesome. The other part that I got with that card was just giving yourself the opportunity to see you and who you truly are on the inside. So, but I also had a little insight on that one too. Is it anybody else? I know Barb Adams wants a card, so we can pull. Is anybody else on the feed right now that wants a card? We're coming up to that hour, so let us know. Please put that comment in that you want a card, because I don't want to miss anybody. Yes, you have. It's all right, Miss Barb Adams. Okay. And hey, Jamie from TikTok. Thanks for coming over. All right, Lily Flowers. Okay, after Barb, we got Heather.
Cool. Oh, okay, I'm just doing one. Actually, a bunch just fell out, so I'm just going to do it. First of all, it's saying you're going through an awakening right now. That our cards look almost the same.
I know. There you go.
That's freaking crazy. So again, kind of like the last card, I feel like it's so weird when I pull cards. They literally all
jump out.
They jump out, but they're all intertwined, because we're all intertwined. So the same thing, like everything's happening to you. Again, the no card for you. Just no. Okay. Wait, postpone, pause, say no.
And Barb, when you're listening to this, you have to listen to Jenny.
I'm just saying, I pulled these cards before, and they're the exact same ones, because you can't make this shit up. The Age of Light, you've been training for this for lifetimes. Yes. And then again, the Palladians, a double mission channeling. I'm not joking. I pulled these exact same cards.
You know what? I'm pretty sure I've said the same thing to Miss Barb. Oh, wait, I'm going to leave that one. And you know what? Look in the mirror, the mirroring. Mm-hmm. What are you mirroring to the world? What are you projecting that is preventing you from moving into that space of openness? And what needs to happen to shift that projection? Yeah. So we got Heather here. She would like a card. Okay.
Heather, I feel like you need the other deck here.
And Jenny, then you're going to have to tell everybody where they can find you and book in with you.
Yes.
Because Stone wants to know.
And I always generally pull cards too in any of my sessions. I just really love it, and everybody loves it. Who doesn't love cards? Like, they're so fun. Heather, what does Heather need to know today on her journey? Oh, another take charge and action. You must have a community of action takers here that are
yes,
take charge and action.
Yes, we do.
Okay.
It is all about stepping into opening your light up, taking the steps to open up.
And I'm feeling like you're very in your feminine and you need to pull in that masculine. I keep feeling like, I don't know how to say this.
Just blurt it. Just
almost like you make yourself small. I feel like I'm under a rock right now. Like I don't want to be seen. I don't want to be heard. I don't want to disturb people around me. I don't want to make a big fuss. But like, I'm feeling emotional again, because when I feel like when I get emotional, it's a big thing and you really need to hear it. You need to step into the masculine. You have so much to offer. You have a lot to give, and I feel like you're just really nervous. I don't know if it's the people you're surrounding yourself with, if it's something that you grew up just not be seen, not heard kind of thing. But there's this fire in you. I feel it, that is being called right now. And you want change. I can feel the change. My whole body is tingling. Your whole body knows that you want this change. And when it's like kind of being in wounded feminine, sorry. So when we need to get into our sacred feminine, just loving yourself, loving your body, feeling those messages from source, and the masculine is executing. So anytime, how can I see it? I keep not being able to talk. So I'm just saying, like, you're not saying how you're feeling. I'm feeling very nervous to say what's on my mind right now. And it's just showing me again that you have a block, and you are a powerful freaking goddess, and you have everything you need within you again.
So I want to add to this, because this card, I was like, hey, you're not getting away without pulling this. It says, be authentic. So it's about allowing who you are on the inside to be seen on the outside, and finding a way to feel safe with that. And know that your words will be taken as they were meant to be taken, because the energy that you give off is truth, is peace, is love, is authentic, and it comes from a place of source within you, and just giving yourself the opportunity to speak your mind, because know that it's coming from that inner glow that makes up your light body, that's connected to your physical life. And so it's time. The world is ready for you.
Oh, totally.
And it's time to give permission for you to be ready for the world.
She's
ready.
There's
the block.
Yeah, she's I can feel it. And just keep executing. Just keep executing.
So you got this. And that's the biggest message I keep hearing. So anybody else? Did we miss anybody else? All right. Well, I want to thank everybody for coming tonight. Oh, wait a minute. Apparently we're picking one more card for the collective. Okay. So strength and expansion. So
that's so funny.
I mean, it lines up with the collective cards that we picked in the beginning.
Oh,
and
my God.
I was hoping to do a closeout card, and I want Jenny to do one as well. But it is clearing and creating foundation that is like, and then clearing the vessel. Like there's a lot of cards that jumped here, but these two are the ones that are on top. So clearing the vessel and the strength of an expansion. So you're in this space. We're all coming into the space where we all can get grounded, we can get centered, we can get aligned with who we are, but we can also create everyday mantras and everyday practice that helps us clear our vessel so that we come from our higher space, that we vibrate in that harmonic tone that is our light body tone that is capable of downloading into this physical existence. And that's where we're at, guys. We're in this space of downloading our light body codes into our physical existence. So give permission, and it's about giving permission. If we don't give permission, it can't happen. And as we give permission, things will shed that no longer belong or aligned with our life purpose at this present time. So that is my closing out card for everybody. Okay. And Jenny, do you have one for us?
Yeah, let's find it here. What's my closing card here? Which is kind of just what you said, vulnerability and freedom. So as soon as I see this, it's just the ability to be our authentic self unapologetically and just showing up. And there's so much freedom in just not giving a fuck what anybody thinks. And it takes a long time, but honestly, the more you step into it, every time you have that feeling of, I can't show up like this. Why not? Why not? And I just feel like, yeah, everyone can just start stepping into their true authentic self in a kind and way. We don't need to be holy bullies. We're here to lift the light, right? And
I'm making a t-shirt, holy bullies.
Don't be a holy bully, right? Like we can say what our boundaries are and be our authentic self by being kind.
Setting boundaries and standards. We can do that with compassion and kindness and strength and power and expansion. So thank you for sharing that final card. And hey, so everybody here wants to know where they can find you online, Jenny.
Okay. I'm Jenny from Jenny Rooted Goddess on Instagram, and I do have a Facebook, but I prefer Instagram. So if you come on there, and I am a spiritual wellness coach over there, and I help people step into who they truly are through mind, body, soul practices and just showing up authentically as who they are every day and not giving an F.
Right. And Jenny and I are going to be doing more shows together. Just so you guys know. Mm-hmm. Don't be sorry, Alex. We're glad that you came anytime. And we're going to be doing more shows, and we'll probably be doing more pulling card shows because I don't know about you guys, but I've had a lot of fun tonight. And I'm kind of unwound one of my little fears about pulling cards live. But hey, here we are, and we did it.
What?
I still got stuff, people. Yeah. You know what? It's just how it works sometimes. So thank you for being you, Jenny. And thank you guys for being here. All of you who came and watched this live, whether you are on YouTube, TikTok, or Facebook, we so much appreciate you. And if you hit the smash button and you hit the notification button and the like button, that way you guys know when we're going to be live again. And we will be live next week as well with Meditation Mondays. And we've got Maureen coming on with tinctures, guys. Hopefully I'm going to be solidifying that. We're going to be making tinctures. She actually sent me tinctures. I'm not sure if she thinks that I am capable of making them yet, but she sent me the recipes, so I have them. We're going to make her make them because she's the professional and she's really good at it. So thank you for being here. Thank you for your time, your energy. And remember, guys, don't give up on your dreams. You've got this. You have the innate cellular coding that allows you to be in your soul mission, your soul purpose, and to do it in high vibration and high capacity and create an optimal journey that aligns with you each and every day. So Jenny, you are amazing, and I am blessed to see your light and to see you grow and expand, because I've seen from the beginning to now, and I got to tell you, you just amaze me and inspire me every day. So thank you, everyone. I hope you have a wonderful evening, and we will see you guys soon. And enjoy your week. All right, bye guys.